Today we're going to take a full map tour of Alpharetta so you can know where everything is and learn more about this city in Metro Atlanta. If you're new around here, Alpharetta is going to be about 30 minutes north of Atlanta in Fulton County. You're going to head up Georgia 400. It's going to be exits 7 through 11. Now, Alpharetta is kind of the golden child of Metro Atlanta. Everything that is cool on the east side is in Alpharetta. Whole suburbs exist because they were trying to be close to Alpharetta. Now, let's jump into the map and take a look around. All right, so we have Atlanta here. We have our perimeter, which is 285. You're gonna head north along Georgia 400. It's also known as Highway 19, which is why it says that. Then you can have Alpharetta right here. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit closer and we'll take a look at some of the nuances of Alpharetta. I think the biggest thing to point out about Alpharetta is that it's a lot of commercial development. If you look around here, you can see all of this, all these buildings, all of these buildings. All of this is office space, commercial development. This is what residential development looks like. This is what commercial development looks like. And so when you look at the boundaries of Alpharetta, as I kind of draw these loose boundaries here, these are not official. I mean, look at all of this. Most of this is commercial. You definitely have some residential pockets here, but you know, all of this is residential. All of this is residential. All of this is residential. Most of Alpharetta is going to be commercial development. And like I said before, most of everything cool in the metro area is in Alpharetta. And that's why a lot of these other communities that we'll talk about in just a little bit, you know, that's why they're built out the way they are. It's because they wanted to be close to everything that Alpharetta has. Okay, next let's take a look at some of the major roads that are running through here. The big one is going to be, again, Georgia 400 or Highway 19. You're going to be exits 7 through 11, which is going to be in Alpharetta. And then you have some kind of east-west cross streets. You have 92 coming in from Woodstock. It's going to start to go, you know, kind of southeast and turn into 140, and that's kind of the theme for a lot of roads around here. There will be one thing, there will be another thing, and as they continue, they might even have a third or a fourth name. But it's 92, then eventually becomes 140, which is gonna cross with Georgia 400. You have 120 coming in over here from Roswell, and then you have coming down from Cumming, Georgia, Highway 9. It's gonna be Atlanta Road at some point, and we'll take you all the way down into Sandy Springs. If you want to go north, you can head up 140 over here. We'll take you through kind of North Roswell and then Milton and then on up into Canton. And then if you can make your way over here, 141 will also take you north and south. You can try and use some of these smaller streets to make your way, but I promise you, GPS it, these are the main roads that you're going to want to get to. And if you're traveling northwest, east or south, northwest, east or south, who says it in that order? These are the roads that you're going to use in order to get there. All right, let's take a look at some of this development that's going on. And this is kind of the bulk of Alpharetta right here and all of the commercial development. Most of these buildings here, this is actually going to be like office space, business parks. Alpharetta is kind of the tech center of the South. There's over 700 tech companies here. So if you're not commuting into Atlanta, which hopefully you're not, a lot of these suburbs are commuting into Alpharetta because this is where a lot of offices are, and this is where a lot of people tend to work and tend to commute into. So a lot of this is going to be office space, but there is a few things here and there that are worth pointing out. I'll start on the south side here, and just a couple roads to be aware of. You know, we got 400 right here again. We got 120 up here. That was terrible. Okay. North Point Parkway, Mansell Road. There's a lot happening on these two roads right here. Right away, you got North Point Mall, one of the few malls still around. There is one over in Kennesaw, Town Lake Mall, but North Point Mall is still here. There's a Lego store in here. You can see my background. there's all, malls are just in a weird place right now, but Alpharetta is one of the few places that still has a mall for now. We'll see how much longer that it lasts. Comment below if you have a mall in your town that is still thriving. But along this road is a lot of shopping centers. So you have the mall, but then over here you also have Michael's and TJ Maxx and REI and Home Goods, and across the street is Studio Movie Grill. Oh, Cooper's Hawk. We just got a Cooper's Hawk. This is a kind of an upscale winery restaurant. I hear it's a kind of a semi-national chain thing, but we just got one here. I went to it a couple months ago. It's really nice. Great restaurant. Highly recommended. We got a Ross, we got an Ulta, so big shopping centers over here. If we continue down North Point Parkway, we get to North Point Mall and everything that has to offer. And then right across the street, where everyone needs to know, where is the Target? Old Navy, Nordstrom, Marshalls, Hobby Lobby, Panera. So this is a big shopping area right here. This is a long 400 and a long North Point Parkway. A couple parks that we're gonna mention while we're at it. So we have North Point Mall, we have Target, and then right here, this is kind of where the Big Creek Greenway starts. And if you are into walking, biking, taking the dogs out, jogging, things like that, this is a really important one to know. You've got about, actually it starts south over here, but you've got about 8 miles of some of it's paved, sometimes it's wooded, but if you want to follow the Big Creek Greenway, it's gonna take you a whole long ways north. And I'll just kind of travel along here. You can see it kind of traversing all the way through these trees. It's gonna drop into some of these parks along the way, but it's gonna take you all the way kind of 8 miles up into Cumming, and then once you get into Forsyth County, it's gonna keep going. You got another 11 miles once you get up here. So really, really fun trail. If you do have a bike and you're looking to get out and get a bunch of miles in, but you wanna stay close to home, this is a really good option for you. Kind of along the way here, we hit, as we were traveling the Big Creek Greenway, we hit Rock Mill Park. Now, this is not like a come and bring your kids to play park, or this isn't where you're gonna come and play football or soccer park. This is more of like, hey, let's find a trail to walk through park. And you can see it does connect to the Big Creek Greenway as well. So that's a really nice park to know about if you're over in this area. And another big road that we come to here is Kimball Bridge. It's, some of these are more ancillary roads, but that's a bigger one. A lot of residences and neighborhoods as you get along Kimball Bridge Road. First one that I'll point out is gonna be Kimball Farms subdivision. And I'm gonna jump over into my MLS as we talk about these neighborhoods and just show you kind of what some of these homes look like. Okay, we're over in the MLS here. There's one active in Kimball Farms and there's 2 pending. So we'll just take a look at what some of these look like. And this is pretty typical. A lot of these homes are gonna be built in the 90s. So just a little bit older at this point, but a lot of them are pretty well taken care of. Nice lawn, big great rooms. How many square feet is this one? Yeah, it's over 6,000 square feet. Nice big homes. This was, I think, around 1.2. And the 3 neighborhoods I'm highlighting today, a lot of them are kind of over $1 million and a little bit higher as far as the price point is concerned. They are in great areas. They are in great school districts. They are big. They are beautiful. Not all the homes in Alpharetta are going to be, over the $1 million mark. I think the median home price for Alpharetta is, I think it's in the high 6s. So there are some, I don't want to say more affordable when I'm talking about the 6s, but maybe more affordable than this, I should say. But the ones I'm pointing out do happen to be over the $1 million mark. They're beautiful homes though. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Brick front, 3-car garage, nice fountain. I'm gonna go a little fast. I don't want to spend so much of your time going through these detail by detail, but I do want to give you an idea of what some of these homes look like. That's very pretty. Similar to the other one, you got a big 2-story great room in the back. That's a very nice kitchen. They've redone that at some point. Really nice appliances. Look at that sink. That's cool. So just to give you an idea of, Kimball Farms. All right, we are back into the map. We were looking at some of these shopping centers down here in the middle of all of this commercial development of some of these businesses. There is a Maris Bank Theater. This is kind of an open air theater, which is what an amphitheater is. Lots of really great bands and acts come through here. So if you do live in Alpharetta, that's a great perk, is that you've got a really great avenue to go see some really great shows right in your backyard. All right, we're gonna travel just a little bit north here. As we go up 400, we'll hit Old Milton Parkway. And if you're coming, you know, east to west, kind of anywhere, this Rucker Road becomes Old Milton Park, becomes 120. That's gonna be a main road. So if you're coming from Canton, if you're coming from Milton, if you're coming from Roswell, you'll probably end up hitting this road to make your way through Alpharetta. And then it's become State Bridge Road. You'll get into Johns Creek, and then you'll get into Duluth. So it's a big travel road if you're in this area. And while we're on here, we got kind of 3 points of interest in this northern area. The first one is going to be the Wills Park Recreation Center. A lot of, you know, sports fields, ball fields, tennis courts, pickleball courts. You also have the park pool. You always see this pool as you're traveling along this road. This is kind of off to the side. Lots of, you know, you got some water slides, you got your Olympic style, you got your play area. This is just a really big, nice park, and there's a ton of parks in Alpharetta. Just pointing out some of the good ones here. Lots of great restaurants around here, and right along 120, you're gonna hit Main Street, and that's gonna bring you to downtown Alpharetta. And this is kind of the OG hangout spot as far as Alpharetta is concerned. Lots of really great restaurants here. We'll talk about the Avalon in just a second. That's a really big hangout area. But a lot of people love these restaurants, sometimes a little bit more than the Avalon restaurants. So a lot of great options here. Smoke Jack, Central Street Tavern, Citizen Soul, a lot of really great stuff. You do have the green space right in front of the fountain. That's a really cool hangout spot. You have some shopping here in the back, but you know, it's a little bit of a city square, but it's not the biggest thing. I think there are some other downtowns that I might consider just a little bit better. I mean, might be a little bit biased in that, but downtown Alpharetta is really cool. And then if you keep traveling down Old Milton, you will eventually come to the Avalon, which is what I was talking about before. You got your Whole Foods here, but this is this high-end mixed-use shopping center. I mean, if you're looking for a night out with your spouse, your significant other, your friends, whatever, this is, in my opinion, the spot to go. You got your movie theater here. You got tons of really great restaurants. You got all sorts of shopping, just hundreds of shops in here. I'm not gonna point out Ted's, no offense Ted's, but Antico, Marlowe's, Subrica, Cafe Intermezzo, so good. Branch and Barrel is in here. Just so many really good restaurants in here. This doesn't do it justice, so we're throwing up some drone shots and some walk-in shots just to give you an idea of what the Avalon is. And it's a major development that, you know, everyone's coming in for. All right, zooming out here, this is, you know, this, like I said, the big commercial hub of all of this. And right next door is gonna be our first high school. This is gonna be Alpharetta High School. We'll put up the niche.com stats on the screen here, but this is a really well thought of school, really highly ranked school. I believe it's in top 10 in the state, if I remember correctly. It's at least in the top 20. But if you want to live in this area, we'll talk about our next neighborhood, which is the Windward neighborhood. Okay, the first one we're coming to, this is 4.6 million. This is just the most expensive one in the neighborhood. They're not all this price, but if you are in the market, this one looks really beautiful. I am going fast, like I said. I just want to give you an idea of what's in the neighborhood, what's in the area. This one is on the lake. We have the nice spiral staircase. This is really pretty. Let's look at something else. Let's look at maybe a 1.5 or a 1.2. That one looks kind of weird. No, I don't want that one. Don't want that one. Let's go with this one, $9.95. That roof looks new. Okay, kind of a traditional layout here. You got the stairs right at the beginning. You have kind of an office space and a sitting area off to one side, connected to the dining room in the back, which is gonna open to the kitchen. This is all pretty standard. Have I walked through this? It just looks really familiar. 2-story great room in the back. And you might be wondering, like, how in the world is this almost $1 million? I mean, it's almost 5,000 square feet. It's built in '86, but it's location, folks. Alpharetta is so popular. Everyone wants to live here. And so this home in another area, you know, might be $400,000, but in this area, it's almost $995,000. Then we'll look at one more. Let's look at something in the 6s and the 5s. Yeah, I mean, you can find a little ranch here. This is almost $600,000. You know, not much to it. Cute though. Just a little ranch if you're looking for single story living. You want to retire here, you want a big beautiful neighborhood in a really cool area, you want to hang out at the Avalon but you don't want to drive too far, this could absolutely be your option. All right, back to the map here. We were looking at the Windward area just to give you an idea of how big this neighborhood is. I mean, all of this around Lake Windward, it's just absolutely enormous as we get into the more residential area of Alpharetta. Speaking of residential, like I said before, most of the residential, quote unquote, areas of Alpharetta are just flat different cities. I mean, once you get into this outer residential area, you're in Milton, or you're in Roswell, or you're in Johns Creek, or this I think is technically Swanee over here. And then this is Cumming, Georgia over here. So like I said, most of Alpharetta is commercial. And if you want to live close to all that, but you want to be in a residential area, you probably just end up in some of these other communities, which used to be Alpharetta. Milton used to be part of Alpharetta, and then it became its own community. Johns Creek used to be part of Alpharetta, and then it became its own community just because it got so large. Everyone wanted to be a part of what Alpharetta had, and then they just kind of developed their own thing. All right, we're gonna zoom back in here. This is our second high school, which is Chattahoochee. Technically, it has a Johns Creek address. We are in Johns Creek over here, but if you find yourself living in this area over here, you might find yourself zoned for Chattahoochee High School. We'll throw those stats on the screen as well. Also in this Windward area is Webbridge Park. This is a really big park off of Kimball Bridge. There is a dog park in here. You got some ball fields in here. You got a soccer field in here. There are some walking trails along here too, but this is a really big, nice park if you're looking just to get outside and you're in the area. All right, zooming back out, we're gonna move north and then finish this off up here. Our next park, we have another little Target shopping center off of 9 as we're kind of almost in Cumming, Georgia as we get to this northern border here. But our next park is gonna be North Park over here. And this is a really, really cute park. This is more of like, hey, bring your kids. There's a couple playgrounds here. There are some sports fields here as well. But this is really more of a park where you're gonna come and bring your kiddos and hang out for a weekend, which is really nice. Just so north of that is gonna be our next high school, Cambridge High School. Again, this is Milton. Go check out the Milton video that I just filmed and was posted last week if you're looking for all the reasons to move to Milton. But again, if you're living in this Alpharetta area, you know, there's a good chance you're zoned for Cambridge High School. Most of the people are gonna live in the Milton area, but there are gonna be a number of people that live in Alpharetta that will also be zoned for Milton. As we continue to get north here, at some point in this area, we've crossed over from Fulton County to Forsyth County. And it's one thing to know about Georgia is that the city lines and the county lines don't line up at all. The zip code lines don't line up with either of those. So just because you're in Alpharetta doesn't mean you're necessarily all in Fulton County. There are some that are in Forsyth. And same thing for a lot of these areas. Ackworth is a good example. Over on the west side, it's actually in 4 different counties, even though it's the same city. First example of that is going to be Halcyon, which is this mixed use. It's really like the little brother of the Avalon. It's a lot smaller, but it's super cute, just off of 400 here. It is in Alpharetta. It does have an Alpharetta address, but it is in Forsyth County. So usually when I'm talking about Cumming, Georgia, I talk about Halcyon, even though technically it has an Alpharetta address. And then lastly, similar to that is going to be Denmark High School. It does have an Alpharetta address, although it is in Forsyth County. But if you live in this kind of northern Alpharetta area, you will be zoned for Denmark. And those Forsyth County schools are so good. South Forsyth High School is right down the road from this, and it's a top school in the state. Denmark High School, that area was so densely populated, they built Denmark High School back in 2018, but it's already in the top 20 high schools in the state. So it does have an Alpharetta address. If you do live in this northern Alpharetta area, you might be zoned for Denmark High School, but you are in Forsyth County, you're not in Fulton County. Hey, hope that was helpful. If you're interested, but you want to maybe explore some other options, check out this playlist right over here, and you can learn about all of these different areas and cities around Atlanta. I'll see you in the next one.